Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm joined by Dermot and we will be talking all things Tottenham, Tudor. We'll be talking Ange, we're talking about North London Derby. There's always plenty to talk about, isn't it, Dermot? How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having me on, Mia. It's great to come on. It's been a long time since I've been on the show with you, and it's good to get back to it, get the feistiness going, get the little scrappy do,
Yeah,
scrappy in a way thing. But yeah,
of
I
course.
watched the Ange interview. Very
We'll,
interesting.
we'll talk
Very,
about that
very interesting.
first. Shall we
Mm.
get into that first, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, doke. Go on then. What's your thoughts before I give mine?
Um, it just makes you want him back again, doesn't it? He's sitting
He's
there,
a
and we've
very
had
good talker. He's a very good
yeah,
talker, isn't he?
we've had Thomas Frank, the boring Thomas Frank, and you're seeing Ange Postecoglou, you're thinking, oh, come back, just come back. All is forgiven. Um, Forget about the 22 league defeats. That's fine. We can overlook that for a while. But no, I think he
Say la
made some
vie.
very good points. I do think I think the point he made last week about Tottenham being a curious club, I think was very a right point to make, that maybe under Daniel Levy we did care more about numbers than we did about winning or going for trophies. And I just feel again, um, Postecoglou really was let down, I think, by the board again. Like every other manager we've had over the 25 years have been let down, because we knew in that second season, that summer, we needed to really fill out the squad. And if he wants to go to players like Simone and other players like that, and Gehu that went to Man City, them players really would have improved our squad. And again, it's the board. What do you say? Well, I've got three teenagers and Dominic Solanke. Now,
Yeah,
Dominic Solanke is okay, but I get his point.
what's your thoughts about the one that just happened? So this morning for us, I don't know when you guys will be watching this, but on the 19th of Feb, they released a second part. Now, one of the most interesting things for me was he did actually come out and say that he made mistakes. He actually did turn around and say that was on me, which is nice to hear because he did actually take like responsibility. So he said about the game against Chelsea, although Romero, it wasn't actually an injury that was any muscular injury, it was actually his toe, and then he got injured again. And he did say about Mickey that he was very important, and that he should have thought a bit more about it. And I thought actually that's really good that he did take actual responsibility for some of the decisions. And to me, he always sort of did, Dermot, didn't he? He always sort of said it was me. Like he sort of always did that with the players. So, what was your thoughts on that kind of part that he said?
He did. He always did take responsibility, and I think that's why he got the players around him so much. And I think that's why he gained the players' respect, because he did always take. Look, it's on me. I'm the manager. I'm the one that sets up the team. I'm the one that sets the tactics. I'm the one that picks the 11. I'm the one that makes the decisions during the game to influence the game. Where if you look at Thomas Frank, who rarely took responsibility for what was happening. Um,
Yeah,
Look, I knew Ange from Celtic. I knew what we were getting at Tottenham when he came in, and to hear him say taking responsibility for the injuries for Mickey van der Ven, especially that Chelsea game when we lost both of them, I think within 70 minutes of the game. I think that was very big of him to do that. He didn't have to do that, but he did. That's the sort of manager he is. Even now, he's protecting the players. Even
yeah,
now, he's sort of protecting them, and I think that shows the quality of him as a manager, and possibly the quality of him as a man as well, as a human being as well.
yeah. No, I agree. Talking of players, he did speak about the lovely Romero.
Mhm.
He said that he was an important player to him, and that the part
Yeah,
of winning the cup was actually down to Romero. He said he did speak to him and to Mickey and some others about the style of play. But he said that of course he is a little bit on the edge. He plays a bit on the edge, but he said that he loved it. He said that he loved the way that Romero was. He also said the players were a little bit scared of him. So
mm,
could we surmise by that actually Thomas Frank was maybe a little bit scared of Romero? Because if the players are a little bit scared of him, because his expectations are high, and that's what Andrew was saying. That actually, he wants better. He looks at other clubs getting these players in, and he wants better. And so he's got high expectations on himself and the other players. So they are a little bit afraid of him in a way.
Yeah.
So can we surmise that maybe Thomas Frank was maybe a bit scared of Romero?
I think he was. You would be scared of Romero. I mean,
I mean,
it comes from your dungeon. I mean,
if I talk, if I speak, I'm going to do another one of the Jose quote as per. If I speak about the fact that he's scary, I don't know, like I quite like these a bit scary.
when he comes from your
Not going to
dungeon,
lie.
yeah, he comes from your dungeon. You feed him the meat. You put pictures of players and managers in front of him. Go on. By game day, he's hating everyone by you. And I've just seen him walk behind you making a cup of tea. No sugars, Romero. Keep them sugars down. But no, I think it's right to be that players are scared of him. He is a World Cup winner, by the way. He is a captain of his national team as well. He's club captain. Look, I come from a generation where the likes of Graham Roberts and Paul Miller and Steve Perriman and you as well, Mia, we sort of grew up in the same sort of era supporting Tottenham.
Hey, I'm not as old as you. Don't be saying that.
Okay,
I'm just a young buck, don't you know?
Yeah, you came just after me. You were the next generation. But the point I'm making, there were players back then were scared of the captains, were scared of the players, these younger players. And they have a right to be scared because if the manager isn't getting what he wants to get across, then it's down to the captain to do that as well. So I like the way he spoke about Romero. I love the way he spoke about Mickey van der Ven. And also, just very quickly, him as a manager and the players saying, look, we need to change this. He's big enough to admit, okay, we do need to change it. And I think that shows him as a manager that he can change, that he can adapt, Thomas Frank didn't adapt.
He sort of said that he didn't want to do it in the Premier League because Conte had done it and that didn't go down well with the fans. But he was willing to do it because, of course, in the Cup it was different. And, he did want to still play his way, to be honest. He did say that. I do think, though, he did say that he'd not lost any, he didn't feel that the dressing room, he'd lost any of those players. And I don't think he did either because when he left, look at literally the whole team came out to say goodbye to him on social media. How many have actually come out for Thomas Frank? So I think that just shows you the difference. Maybe because obviously Frank wasn't there as long, and I do get that. And obviously it was with different situation because Ange won them they won a trophy with Ange. But I don't think that I think that the players actually genuinely did like Ange. I think they did actually genuinely like him.
Yeah, they did, and they have an awful lot of respect for him and still do. And I think whoever came in there after Ange was always going to find it difficult to pick up that rapport with the players because the players had that tight connection with Ange and the coaching staff. When you got a different... Sorry, go on.
I think, if you do come in, you have to have a big personality. And I don't think that Frank really had a personality.
And also I think he did change from the way we were playing. He'd become a bit more Conte type. Well, he didn't really. He thought he could, but he didn't. But I think the players sort of took to Ange because he kept it as a family thing. You know yourself from being Greek and me being Irish. Family's important.
Of course.
Family's very important. Of course, family's important to everyone, but I think for our nationalities, where we come from, it's extra important because of what we've been through as separate nations. Like, so Ange using that, like Alex Ferguson did the same with the United boys. Your grandfather worked down the mines. He worked there to give your parents a platform to get the way out where they are, and they've made sacrifices to put you where you are. And Ange is very much the same with our players, and I think that sort of hit home with a lot of our players.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think that's where you build a bond. And he also said, which I do agree with, we went through all that turmoil in the Premier League. That builds a stronger squad. That builds a tighter unit. So once you do win something, you have the mentality to carry that on in the following season. And we'll never know what season 3 would have looked like. I have a funny feeling that we would not be where we are now. I think we'll be up challenging for the Champions League places
I mean, we don't know in it, so I
We don't
think
know. Yeah.
the one. So the last thing we're going to talk about quickly with Ange, and then we'll put
Mm.
a pin in that one. But the last thing I will say is that when he said that um, you don't have parades for a good financial statement, like a
Mhm.
bank statement, whatever he said, like something like that, but you have them for trophies. That
Yeah.
to me was what it was all about. It is
Yeah.
about winning those trophies to him. And I love that. That's what I'm all about. I'm about winning those
Mm.
trophies. And Ange really got that. He got that
Yeah.
we needed to win a trophy. And he was willing to do everything to make sure that when he said he wins in his second season, and he said that he had to say that because people around him wouldn't say it in the club. He done it. He put his neck on the line to basically say, I will get you that, and I
Mm.
think that is massive. And the way he said it about not having a parade only for like you have a parade for trophies, I was like, damn right. Who cares about the
Yeah.
money, the financial side? We're football fans, and football
Mm.
fans want to win stuff. No, like that's what it is
Yeah.
for me.
Of course it is. You know that as well as I do, that it's all about winning trophies. At the end of the day, finishing fourth is brilliant, but it's not a trophy.
That's right.
Finishing, being runners up, yeah, you're nearly there. And we had so many times over the years, Mia, you know as well as I do, where we nearly got there. Everyone looks back at the Poch years, and as good as it was under Pochettino, we didn't win anything.
We didn't win. I
We
know.
didn't win anything. And look, you and me sort of agree in this, that if you're a winner, if you win something, you're a winner. If you come second, you are a loser. And
Yeah,
it's very harsh to label that a Pochettino, because he did take us on a magical mystery tour.
of
He did
course.
take us on an amazing ride
It was
of.
great.
It was great, but I think we're too romantic with Pochettino, where I do feel we're a bit harsher on Ange. And if he does
Agreed.
come back in 10 years' time, I think he will get a great reception from the Spurs
I
fans.
I completely agree, and that's what he said, and we'll leave it on that.
Yeah,
But I do think that's what he said, and I
mm,
completely concur with that.
I
I
do.
think that he'll be remembered as the one that took us to that place of glory, and that we
Mm,
hadn't been there for 17 years. And that parade was amazing. That was like, oh my god, that parade, and like seeing the players being drunk, seeing Brennan Johnson not being able to get, like they couldn't get him to come back in again. The boys nearly falling off the bus. Oh my god, they looked like they were being held behind them. You had security standing behind them, thinking they're going to fall. I think at one point someone was grabbing hold of either Sonny or Cutie. One of them had hold of, like, they're being held onto, so they didn't fall off the
yeah,
bus. They were all out of their heads, man. They were still drunk. It was so funny and
mm,
so good
I,
to see that
uh,
human side. And Sonny swearing. Oh my god,
yeah.
Sonny swears. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
It, it, it,
great.
it, it is great. And it was a day we'll never forget. I mean, that night we'll never forget. I remember doing the
Yeah,
watch along on my channel, and I burst into tears. And I'm
yeah,
a 49-year-old man now. I was 49 there a few weeks ago, and I burst into tears because of the emotion of what we went through in that game and getting there, and the season we've had. And it's our first trophy since 2007. And all the emotion just bubbled up in me. And I burst into tears. And
yeah.
I'm not a
There's
person that likes to show emotion on YouTube. I like to be professional and be professional and do my job as the best way I can to be professional. But the emotion just got to me, and we want more nights of that, Mia. We want
a
more
hundred
nights of
percent,
success,
a
and
hundred
I
percent.
and I think the players do as well. And it's so important that we do look at what Ange did, and we do respect him. He's the third manager in our history to win a European trophy, behind Bill Nick and behind Keith Birkinshaw. I am very lucky to see us win something under Keith Birkinshaw. I'm very lucky to see us win a European trophy under him and see that repeated 40 odd years later. And I think Anne should be given the credit. Rightly so, should be criticised for the league performances, and rightly so. But
Yeah,
I think for winning that trophy, I think we could all put it to one side and said, yes, we did it. I think the club killed the momentum when they sacked him. and I feel Thomas Frank was not the right manager. I'm going to say it now. I think we should have brought in Pochettino. If we were going to bring anyone in after Ange, I think it had to be Poch last season. And I think you would have got that momentum still because they
I
sort of play in a similar way. So I think you would have got the fans wouldn't have turned on the manager, I don't think. I think the players would have respected Pochettino as well as respecting Ange. And I think he would have got more out of Romero being Argentinian himself and being the defender himself.
I don't
I,
know.
I know what you're going to say, but I just think Thomas Frank was probably the wrong pick to follow
Thomas
Ange
Frank
Postecoglou.
Thomas Frank was the wrong sign, was the
Yeah,
wrong, but I still don't think the Pochettino's ever going to be right for me. And there's many reasons, but I think that. But honestly, yeah, I think that it's not the right. It's not right.
yeah.
So
No, I
uh,
agree.
let's move on to the next topic. Is Tudor the man to help Spurs?
Mm.
Is he the man? Because
Eh,
obviously everyone's saying we're in the relegation battle.
mm.
I didn't know too much about him at all, really. So as a manager, I looked him up a little bit and obviously got a gist of what he's about. He seems to be quite a short-term manager. He goes to places and he did keep Udinese up. So he is a bit of a short-term guy. So what's your thoughts on him?
I did have to Google him, if I'm being honest, when I heard he was our man. He was coming in. Who? Never heard of him. Yeah, he has done well at short terms Italian clubs, Udinese, Juventus as well. Um, but this is the Premier League. This is a completely different beast altogether. Um, and I think he has to hit the ground running. Everyone's saying, "Oh, we're going to give him a free pass on Sunday." No, Sunday's not a free pass. It's this again, isn't it? Oh, well, it's only Arsenal. We're going to lose anyway. Well, tell that to Wolves. Tell that to Brentford in the last two games. Did they just say, "Oh, it's Arsenal"? Well, it doesn't matter. Of course, it matters. It's a North London derby. Pride matters. It matters to us. And I think he's the sort of Conte type manager to come in and give these players a rocket up their ass and say to them, "Yeah, he's already come out and said it in his first interview. This matters. We all have to take responsibility. We all have to try to make it right."
Yeah,
And I think he is the man. I do, Mia. I think he would bring some organising at the back, which is good, which we need. I think also he does play attacking football, which is what we want to see as well. And I think he will get he will get a lot out of the players because I think the players will be quite happy Thomas Frank's gone. Um, and I think this game, I honestly think we can do something on Sunday. And I think Arteta doesn't know who he is. They've never faced each other before, so he doesn't know his tactics. So we can really surprise Arsenal on Sunday. And one thing as well, we the fans have to get behind them as well now. Forget all the divides. Forget all the issues we've had with Thomas Frank or whatever. Let's get behind the players. Let's get behind the team because I lived through under Ozzy Ardiles the first year he was in charge. We nearly got relegated, and I remember we were going up to where was it to play Oldham away, and we got a 2-1 win. If we hadn't beaten Oldham and we did lose to QPR in the last game of the season at the Lane 4-1, we would have gone down. So that game, and we did it then under when Jurgen Klinsmann came back and saved us at the last game of the season. In that year, it's important that we get off to a good start. So yeah, I think it's the right choice, Mia. I do. I just feel it's a safe pair of hands till we get to the summer, and then it really does prove who do we get in then. But I wouldn't want him next season. I just want him just
no,
as when.
no, he's a short-term guy for sure. He
Yeah,
does more short-term management, and he seems to do well in
yeah,
that sort of short period of time. Like you, I had to Google him, look him up, and yeah, from what I see, he's quite an imposing guy. He's a big guy. He's definitely got something about him that I don't think the players are gonna
mhm,
like really mess with him too much. I don't think they're gonna look down and be like, "Oh, who are you?" I think they're gonna look and think, "Wow, like this is a big guy who's got something about him." don't really want to get shouted at by him. Although I don't think he will go in and be too much with them, because obviously he wants to get them on side as well. So you've got to be balanced with it. So I do think he will come in and do a good job, and we only need a couple of wins, and I can see us getting 2 or 3 wins for sure, to keep us up. I do think that, to be honest, I do. So the next thing is the North London Derby. How are you actually feeling about this game?
I'm looking forward to it because North London Derby. We all want to win, don't we? We all want to beat the enemy, and that's what they are, the enemy. And we all have our joke of the South London club, and they're not proper North London, and all this. But I'm looking forward to it. I think we can get something out of it, Mia. I think we can. I think Arsenal.
We'll talk about that in a sec. So
Sorry.
don't say anything too much about what
Sorry.
you think we can get
No,
out of it.
I'm
Just
looking
about how you
forward to it.
feel.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm starting to get a bit delusional. You know me.
God, here we go.
Game day. Yeah. Coming up to game day. I can already feel it inside of me starting to bubble up now. And if this was under Thomas Frank, I'd be very fearful. I'd be getting the cushion and doing the watch along behind the cushion. Now with Tudor in, I'm up for it. I'm pumped. I'm ready.
I've got a feeling that actually more fans will go to this game than what if it was under Thomas Frank. I think that now everybody's going to get behind the team because they know it's important. And I do think that the fans need to do that. They need to get behind this team, really, really support them. And through thick or thin, we have to, because I think that will lift the team. And I think the team have got something to prove, to say, look, it wasn't us, it was him that was the problem about Frank. So for their pride and for obviously us, this game is important, and I hope that they know that. And I just want them to give like 100%. That's what my honest thing is. I want to see them give 100%. I don't want to see any of this lackluster, whatever. We've had days off now, so I'm feeling quite optimistic, more so than I would have against if it was with Thomas Frank. I'm not like going, we're going to smash them or anything like that. But I do feel like a bit more optimistic for sure. I don't feel so doom and gloom about it, because with Thomas Frank, it was doom and gloom with every game. I said it. I could have just recorded the same video and put it on replay every game. We're rubbish. Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. That's what I mean. It literally was that.
It was getting harder and harder, wasn't it, to actually do content because of how bad we were. Like,
do you know why it's so hard though? Because I found the game so hard to actually concentrate watching. I'd be playing a game, I'd be doing all other stuff on my phone, scrolling through like Instagram, like, you know what I mean? I was trying to do everything but watch that game. I was cleaning at one point. I moved my sofa, started cleaning behind my sofa. Like this. That's what I mean. Like, the games are so boring. So I'm hoping that with the way that he plays, he likes a man-to-man press. He does like 3 at the back, but I'm not sure he's going to. We'll talk about the players in a moment. But yeah, I'm excited more so than I would have been, I think. This game always gives me a little bit of nervousness anyway, but I'm more looking forward to it than I definitely would have been if it was Frank. If it was Frank, I think I would have just scooped my eyeballs out with rusty knives. Like, literally, that's how it made me feel.
You wouldn't know who would be paying for anyway, Frank, because he loves his Arsenal anyway, to be fair. So he could have, you know, he probably secretly want Arsenal to win. I mean, I think the Arsenal fans are a bit disappointed he's not there now, because I'm sure that the banter we would have got from them, he's an Arsenal man and all this, would have been. Yeah.
And now hopefully we're going to be singing second again, ole, ole, like the Wolves fans were. Joe, what? Please. Joe, how funny that is. They're getting relegated and they're singing second again, ole, ole, to Arsenal. It's so bad. Like, that's just English, like, banter all over in it. Like, our banter in the UK is just so funny that's the kind of banter we do. We're going to get relegated, but you're going to finish second.
I do think last night's result, their result against Brentford, I think it's hurt them a lot. Yeah. And I think some of these players are a little bit, this is the last game we need. They could have done with an easy game, you know, not a North London derby. And I just feel momentum has switched a little bit from them to us. I just really think it does. I think appointing the new manager, the players having 5 days off, Arsenal drawing against Brentford, drawing against Wolves.
The pressure's on.
Arteta, the pressure's on. Can they cope with the pressure? Yes, there's pressure on us, but not as much, I don't think, as there is on them. And I think that might play into our hands. And we're at home as well. And
Yeah,
if we can, Mia, turn that ground into an absolute fortress, like we did under Conte,
I was just about to say
I
that.
I think we've got Arsenal, because they cannot. Their mentality is they cannot
Well,
they don't like being under pressure,
look
and
what
that's the
happened
issue.
after the game with
Mm,
Jesus. He went over and shoved him out of temper. They're
yeah,
losing their heads a little bit. So I
yeah,
think that's actually going to go in our favour, because if they score and then we score, they're going to lose it. They're going to like lose their bottle, because that's what they do. They try and get a goal and then defend. And then if you come onto them, all you have to do is put a bit of pressure on them, and they melt like a chocolate teapot, man.
yeah,
They've not got that mentality to like get it over the line. They're losing their heads. They're like, the goal they conceded, the second goal was ridiculous. It was an own
it
goal. The
was.
way that the keeper and the player like went into each other, like, what are you doing? Like, they're losing the plot a little bit, which is quite fun to
Yeah,
see. If they lose this league, this will be the biggest bottle job in history, to be
yeah.
at the top for so long and to lose it. This is Joe. This is the first time in, I think, in Premier League history. So someone said the fact that a team at the top has lost to a team at the bottom.
Do you know what?
Sorry,
Us
drew.
lose.
Sorry, drop
Yeah,
points. Sorry, to a team at the bottom.
yeah, it is. Maybe us drawing against them isn't so bad now.
Yeah, I said, yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. But I think that it's definitely more of a possibility than it was before,
Yeah,
for sure.
it is. Yeah,
So,
most definitely.
of course, Tudor likes to play three at the back. However, we have got a limited amount of players, but
Mm.
apparently we look like Porro could possibly be back. We don't know for sure, but we do know Richarlison's back. So we have got maybe a little bit more of an option. So what do you think about, obviously, the players that are coming back? What would you do? Maybe like with the players, would you, because he's saying obviously he's going to play to the players that he's got. So I'm not sure that he is going to play three at the back, if I'm honest.
I think he might play five at the back. I think he might play a 5-3-2. I think he will play three, and I'll tell you why I think he will. I think he will play Mickey van der Ven. I think he will play Dragonson and maybe Palunia as that third centre back. I do. And then have possibly Jed Spence, and I think Porro might be back for this game as well. If Porro's back, then I think he will do either a 3-4-3 or a 5-3-2. I think we have to play two up front, Mia, to
Yeah,
be fair.
I agree, but would you
Mm.
not play maybe a 4-4-2?
Yes, could play. That's not a bad.
Because you've got then the middle of the park,
Mm.
you've got a lot of midfielders, because obviously their midfield is strong, and then you can
Yeah,
play. He knows how to get the best out of Mawani, because he played with, like, when Mawani was at Juve, he played there at this, when I think when he was Tudor was there. So, and then play Solanke, playing them both together, using them both, I think could be a strength. So I will say like a 4-4-2 probably isn't actually a bad formation to go, because we haven't got the centre backs to really play the three at the back, but it still gives you enough in the midfield playing the 4-4-2.
yeah. No, I agree. That's a very good point. I also feel if you are going to play two up front, play Solanke a little bit deeper, because he can come deep and bring the wingers in. That's what he does. And then you're sort of playing with, like, you're then turning your attack from 1 to 3, because you've got the wingers coming in, you've got Morani up front, and then you've got the wingers coming in, and Solanke then he's got 3-4 players to bring in, the pass to. I think we've really got to, because this Arsenal defense isn't the greatest. If you put pressure on them, they will crack. You look at Wolves, you look at Brentford. They're a little bit all over the place. And as you rightly said, Mia, they're starting to lose their heads now a little bit. So force a foul out of them. Force
Yeah.
them into a mistake. Be a
I
little
agree.
bit. And Solanke's great at this. Solanke's great of getting in there and hustling a little bit.
Do you know, I'd actually play, I would play Richarlison,
Mm,
Xavi, Gallagher, and then on the other side, maybe play, actually, no, play maybe Paulina and then Gallagher on the right. But
mm.
I would actually play Richarlison because he's a bit of a shit house. And I think
Yeah,
we need a little bit of that. I think we need a bit of that. I really do. I think we do need
I agree.
that Richarlison.
Yeah,
And I
but
know a lot of people be like, Richarlison, but I do think actually we haven't really got any wingers at the minute. So
no,
I think actually playing that way isn't actually a bad idea because we can get it through to the two front men that way too, because we've got someone like Gallagher who's a good passer of the ball because he did that wonderful pass obviously for Solanke to do the scorpion kick. So actually Conor Gallagher, somebody you could definitely use. And if you play him on that right hand side, I think that's actually a really good idea. You've got the creativity with Xavi and you've got the shithousery a little bit as well with Richarlison. So, and then you've got Paulinia to help be a bit more of the sturdiness in the middle.
yeah, no. I do agree with you on that, Mia. But one thing about Richarlison, and one thing that does worry me about him is the way that he does fall over a bit easy, and he
I
does make it
know.
hard for himself. And I just feel if he's just going to start doing this nonsense of diving and falling over as soon as he gets touched, then it's not going to work. He needs to be strong, he needs to be disciplined, and he needs to basically put his body where it's going to hurt.
Joe,
Because
we do need to wind them up a little bit though, Dermo. If we can
yeah,
wind them
oh
up, I
yeah, I
think
agree.
they're losing their heads and Richarlison is the key person because when he falls over, that
Mm,
winds up the other they get
yeah,
wound up with him. And I think that's actually a
I
good
agree.
thing.
I agree, but I think he's got to do it in a really smart way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's got to do it in the Pacific way, and I think if we can get Gabriel say sent off, right, I think that's a major plus for us. We already seen he's losing his head.
Yeah, he
Um,
is.
and I also think, Mia, if I'm being honest, I think there's a little bit of frustration coming from the players towards their manager. I
Yeah,
think there's a bit of a rift happening there.
because they're not playing very good football,
Yeah,
are they? They're really
no,
boring. Like it's a very boring type of way to play.
yeah,
So
it is. It really is a boring way to play. But look, th- I just I just can't see them winning the league. I think Man City are going to do it, and
I
look, it'd be
think so
great if they
too.
did. Be
The
really
melt
great. But
the Joe, it'd
yeah,
be
go on.
even greater is if we can do to help along with them not winning it, and that would be the meltdown of all meltdowns. If we, I just keep thinking of it, right? I keep setting the stage of a Conte style game, right, where we are on it from minute one. We do not let them breathe. We're down their necks, breathing down
Mm,
their necks. Yeah,
yeah,
the crowd are into it. We're cheering. We are there for them. We're the extra, like we're the 12th man, and we actually get 3 points from those boys. Imagine we get 3 points
oh,
from them. The meltdown would be so good.
unreal.
Oh my
Do you know
god.
also one thing as well, Mia? We play last at the weekend, so Man
Yeah,
City we already played their game,
that's
and
right. So
for
that's
us,
pressure.
yeah, and for us, Forest and West Ham have already played their game. So it
Yeah,
really is. The game on Sunday is about which team can handle, which squad can handle the pressure.
yeah. Um,
Who's going to crack first?
I think that it's very interesting that City are playing first and they've got a game in
Yeah,
hand. So if they make the point, if they close the gap, that's going to be on the Arsenal players' minds that they
mm,
can't allow the gap to be closed
yeah,
to allow it to be like that. So that's going to be on their minds. So they've got they're the ones who have to come out to try and win this game, not draw it. So I think that actually probably helps us a little bit because they've got that pressure
it
on
does.
them. So
It does.
yeah,
But it also pressure on us as well, Mia. We've got
I
to, if
agree.
West Ham win and Forest win, then we drop down to 17th. Then you know it's going to happen. It's going to be a boring 0-0 draw now. We've just built it
Oh,
up to this amazing,
I hope not.
feisty, fighting game. What's going to happen is going to be boring 0-0 draw. Hope not.
We
But
never really have those with them though, do
no,
we?
we just
Like
not.
very, very rarely do we have it. Like I'm trying to think, like it doesn't really happen for the North London
Our last
derbies.
draw. was 2023, I think. 2-2 draw. That
Yeah,
the
a
first
score
year under
draw.
Ange.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2
and we
draw.
should have won that game when
We
was
should
it
have won that game.
the away
Yeah.
one? Yeah, we should have won that,
Mm,
man. 100% we should
yeah.
have won that. So, yeah, I think that we never do boring score draws.
No.
So is what I'm saying. Like, there's always
Yeah.
something
I know
going
what you
on. Do
mean.
you know what I mean? Like when you
Yeah.
think Lamella scored that fantastic goal and we end up losing the game anyway, or look, we lost the game this season against them, but Richarlison done a
Mm,
halfway goal, like well halfway, but like nearest to the halfway line goal and lobbed the keeper. So I do think there is like always a little bit of drama, a little bit of something in it, and I think we need to make it a Conte style, man. I think apparently we're going to do a tifo as well, so that's
yeah.
going to be
We're good at them.
interesting. Yeah.
We're good at them. Better than the Arsenal ones anyway.
Oh yeah, their ones just look like shower curtains.
Yeah.
And they sing
I'm
that
just.
silly song, North London forever, for wherever the like. What
Uh,
the hell, man? That's
I
such a
mean,
weird
look,
song.
can they just get it right? They're a South London club.
That's
They only
right.
moved here, right? They only moved here because Bob the Builder built a stadium on an open sewer. And somebody realised, oh, we've made a mistake here. And South London kicked them out. We don't want you here, lads. You have to move.
We
And they
didn't.
looked at Barnet and they thought, oh, we can beat Barnet. They didn't think about the lads up the Seven Sisters Road, did they? They were out for the night and they came in like a thief in the night and moved into second part of North London. The time we woke up from the binge we were on, realised, who are these squatters? I can't get rid of them. They're like squatters you can't get rid of.
Well,
Just go
I'm
home.
I'm from South London, and I didn't want them in my territory, but I didn't want them in North London either.
So
So
it's your fault they moved out than me. You chucked them out of South
no,
London, did you?
it was long before me. Don't blame me. It was long before me. I just know that I lived up the road from the barracks, the Woolwich Arsenal
Yeah.
barracks. So yeah, I wasn't far from there. So yeah, I know exactly where they're from. So I agree. They come and squatted into our land, into our territory, and they've got the cheek to sing North London forever when they're not even
I
from
know.
North London. I tell
I
you
know.
what, they've got an absolute bloody cheek. They have
They
absolute
do.
cheek.
They do.
So
They really
the
do.
last thing is, can we get points? I put S in a bracket because obviously I personally think we can get a draw. I do think we can get a draw out of it. I know like it's mad to say it. People are going to say, what's giving you that vibe? And I'm like, well, it's North London derby. You never know what's going to happen. And I do think genuinely that when you play against them, they absolutely poop their pants. So I think if we come out and we actually play football, I don't think they're going to like it because they're a bit anti-football at the minute. They like to just win on like free kicks, corners and stuff. So I think that if you play football, as other teams have shown, we can get at them. So as long as we
Yeah.
set up correctly and we play in the right manner, I think we can get a draw. What's your thoughts?
Look, my head says a draw. My heart says we're going to whoop them. I always go with my heart, so we're going to whoop them.
Okay.
We're gonna whoop them like Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman all them years ago in Zaire. We're gonna do the rope-a-dope. We're gonna let them have all the pressure, have all the attack, and we're just gonna pop up and just score the one goal and the end of the game. No, I think we can win here. I do. I think this Arsenal side are under pressure. They're cracking. They've had this in the back of their heads. We finished second last season. We finished second year before. To be fair, what have Tottenham got to lose? Nothing really. We're not going to win the Champions League, so we're playing for pride, and we're playing to stay in the Premier League. Look, are we going to get relegated? Probably not, but it's still there. We have to be realists. We're in a relegation fight, so we have to be realistic about that. But it is a North London derby. You know as well as I do, derbies are on their own. You look at Celtic and Rangers. You look at the Liverpool derby. You look at the Manchester derby. These games are not like any other Premier League game. These are unique to the part of the country they're in. And I just feel the Tottenham boys having the week off, clearing their heads, getting a new man in. They're already having training, having a good week of training already. Arsenal playing Saturday, playing Wednesday with the game in hand. They had to play Wolves. And then playing Tottenham on Sunday. I just think it may be too much for them. I do. And I know Arsenal fans can say, oh, the players are tired. And you can hear the excuses now, Mia. You can hear them now.
The
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 players
the
are
ball was too round. There was too
yeah,
much
yeah,
water on the
yeah.
grass. The sun was
You know,
shining too bright.
Arteta couldn't find his light bulb or his never walk alone music. You know, it put the
Or his
players off.
lemons. Or his lemons. We squeeze the lemons, guys.
I
Squeeze
ju-
the
ju-
lemons.
Do you know what,
Weird
Mia?
man. Weird.
Even our documentaries are so different. Ours is professional, good, exciting, keeps you on the edge of your seat. Arsenal one, it was like watching Bozo the Clown doing the documentary on the circus. I mean, it was so funny. Some of the things he was getting up to. I mean,
I
and I'm
know.
looking and thinking, who's the
He's
more
a,
professional club here? We are.
he's a very strange guy. Joe,
He
actually, saying about the
and dyes
music.
his hair.
Yeah, I know. And his mute to see about the music, Joe, we should do.
Yeah.
We should pump Under Pressure to their dressing room, and then We Are the Champions, because obviously
Yeah.
for us. So
Do you know what? For being a massive Bowie fan, and Queen fan as well, I think that is brilliant. Just pump Under Pressure out there. That's it. The players
Under
be out
Pressure.
doing the warm up. Do 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 do. And you're thinking, yeah, brilliant. Get
Yeah,
that
that would
going.
be that. I could definitely be the DJ
Yeah.
at Tottenham, because I think that actually would be the most perfect song, because that's like a little dig at them, because it's not anything
Yeah.
to do with us. That's like a little dig saying you're the ones under pressure, mate.
Yeah.
We're not under pressure. We're cool, man. We're cool.
And then you back that up with We Will Rock You. Then you back that up with We Will Rock You then at the end as the players are coming out.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I say, it's
brilliant.
got We Are the Champions, and then we'll be like, because
Yeah.
we're the champions, like because we won it in Europe, and then and then We'll Rock You 100%. I'm obviously a massive Queen fan, so obviously the when it comes to songs like that, Queen always comes to mind. And when we sung We Are the Champions, the video when we won the Europa, oh my god, it was just amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
very quickly on that, I think we really had the better of music when we were growing up in the 80s and 90s.
100%. And Joe,
but-
do you know why we had the better of music? Because we had such a mix of music. We had the music that we had was so varied in what we actually like my generation's music. And I think that when you look at our playlist is such a mix of R&B, hip hop, rock, punk rock, pop music. There's so many different genres. Garage music, I loved a bit of garage music. So there's so many genres that we actually liked, which is really nice. Like I don't think nowadays you really get that.
I mean, I grew up listening to the Specials, UB40,
I like
Madness,
UB40. Yeah, Madness.
Spandau Ballet, Wham,
I love Wham.
you know, Duran, Queen, David Bowie, you know, and then of course you get to the late 80s, you know, and the music changed, and yes, there was R&B and hip hop, and you know, synthesizing music starting to come in then as well, and then you had the garage music and the rave music, and it was good, and it was a good time to be alive as well, because if you look at Tottenham back in the early 80s, we were flying, and even through in the 80s and 90s, Tottenham were always thereabouts. And I think we shouldn't forget where we came from. We've got to use the past on Sunday as our fuel to say we can do this. Look back at the teams that have beaten Arsenal. Look back. Do you remember when we beat them 5-1 in the League Cup semi-final? The second leg. Look back at them games. Use that as your fuel. Use that as your motivation. Look 100%. What it means to us fans. It means everything.
100%.
And I think these players do get it. And I think Romero, even though he isn't playing, and I think he's a big miss, he is so vital on Sunday. So I'm pleading with you, Mia. Let him out of wherever you hide him. Let him come to the game. Let him do his captaincy job. Then if you have to put him back into the cage, do so. But let him out on Sunday, Mia. We plead you. Let our Romero out.
I'll let him out as long as he wears a nice suit, because when he wears those suits, I do like it when he wears a suit.
This is just turned into. I might as well just go when she starts talking about Romero, because it just turns into.
I told you, if we get sorted on that conversation, when Ange said, like I say, about him being aggressive and a bit scary, and I'm like, I kind of like it. I kind of like that he's a bit scary.
Yeah, Mia, stop talking what happens in your private life, Romero. People don't want to know.
Shush.
You're letting the secrets out now.
In all honesty, it isn't. I do like that. he's a bit aggressive, because I think
Yeah, I
sometimes
do.
you sort of need that in a club, in a team. You
Mm,
don't want somebody who's going to be meek and placid. I think that
yeah, yeah.
having somebody who's a bit of a nut is obviously someone like a bit nutty, a bit crazy. Like all it through the years, we've always had it. We've had Roy Keanes, you know,
Yeah.
we've had look at Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones, man. We had Vinnie Jones. Like he was nuts, he was mad. So like we've always had hard men in the game, haven't we? Let's be honest. It's not like a new thing to have that kind of attitude in the game. We always have had
Yeah.
it through the years.
To be fair, I have been critical of him this
Yes, I
year,
agree.
and
He's
and I
been
and I think
reckless. I do
and
agree.
I feel he's let us down a few
100%.
games. I also feel, I mean, I was criticised for having that opinion. I just feel to be a captain, you have to be you have to be fully in charge of your emotions being the captain, because your team will look to you in certain situations of the game for you to lead by example. And yes, he did score the 2 goals against Newcastle. Yes, he did get the equaliser against Burnley. And yes, I applaud him for coming out against the board. I applaud him for doing that. But there's a way of doing it. You look at Roy Keane, and I'm a massive fan of Roy Keane, a massive fan. He was our captain for the Irish side, had his problems with Mick McCarthy with Japan. And at the time, I thought, no, you let your country down. As I've got older, and it's that 20 years, 20 odd years later, he was right. He was right, but he kept everything in house, Mia. Nothing came out in the newspapers. He didn't go
Yeah,
out
I
to the
do get
Daily
you.
or the Mirror or the Sun saying, "Oh, Fergie hasn't given me this new contract," or "Manchester United haven't bought this player," or "Gary Neville played crap on Saturday." Everything was kept in house.
I
Where I
I do
respect
get that.
Romero for doing what he's done, I think it would have been more. I think it'd be more sensible to have kept it within the house. But maybe he had to do it that way. Maybe he
Yeah.
had to get it out, and I think the players liking it as well shows he does have respect in the dressing room.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely does.
But
100%.
for me, Romero is. I just want Romero to be a little bit more focused, a little bit more. Okay, I'm responsible. I'm going to lead by example. Let your football do the talking
Yeah.
instead of
I
letting your
think
fingers do the talking.
I'll tell you what he does. He allows his frustrations to
Mm,
boil over, and like somebody who's a very hot-headed, like obviously South American, he allows that. You know what I mean? He does allow
yeah, yeah,
that to
yeah,
get the better of him. And I'm not trying to defend him, because I think you're right. I completely agree with you with what you've said, but I do think he lets his emotions and the
yeah.
way that he gets frustrated get the better of him, which is not right. And
Mm.
I do get that. So I'm not trying to completely defend him,
No,
because
I know.
I do understand.
I have a question for you, Mia. Mickey van der Ven, if it's okay to ask you a question, like very
Of
quickly.
course.
Mickey van der Ven, I've said it this season. I think he's a better captain than Romero in some other aspects of his game. I feel
Yeah.
the back four seems a bit calm when it's him or Danso or him and Dragonson or him or Palunia. I feel when Mickey van der Ven and Romero, it seems like the back four are on edge. You've got a feisty goalkeeper who doesn't shut up. And believe me, I've sat behind his goal. That man knows more swear words than I've ever known. He was coming out with swear words that I didn't even know existed.
I
And then
mean,
you've got a feisty centre back, and I just feel that it makes the back five as a unit a little bit edgy. And when he's not there, when you've got Van der Ven or a Danso or Van der Ven or a Dragonson, it seems a bit calmer. It seems a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more right. Okay, we can relax a little bit.
yeah,
And
I
is
do
that
get
a fair
that.
comment to make?
Yeah, no, that is a fair comment. I think that Mickey is just the right amount of feisty. He's
Mm,
definitely got
yeah,
like a bit like you can see when he gets anger on his face, but
yeah,
he and doesn't allow it to overtake him, because of where he's not a hothead like that. He's got a bit more of a attitude of I'm annoyed, but I'm not going to take it to that point where I'm going over the
yeah,
top with it. So I do get what you mean. He's definitely much more of a calmer kind of guy. He's like the water and Romero's like the fire. Do you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
No,
that's
that's a very good point, actually. That's actually
I
quite
think
good.
that's where the way I kind of see it, and I do see
Mm,
that with Mickey. And but the thing is, let's be honest, I don't think either of them are going to stay past this summer. So
yeah.
we'll
No,
see how that goes.
I do you know what? I can see them staying there. I really can. I
I
think if a
hope
Pochettino comes in, I think that will give them a little bit of okay, he's done this before.
if they
Let's see
want to
what happens.
stay, of
Yeah,
course, like we're seeing it, but the noises is coming from them. But saying that, we have had times where the players have come out and said these rumours are rubbish. They're not true. So, that's what they have spoken about that. And I think Romero spoke about it. Richarlison spoke about it, saying that these are lies. He said outright, like, this is a lie. So at the end of the day, we know that the press also have got an ulterior
yeah,
motive because they don't
that.
always tell the absolute truth. Like they do twist
Mm.
things a lot. So I don't always
And
trust what the media say.
and I am going to defend Romero. He does get misquoted quite a lot. Maybe
He
something in his
does.
language means something completely
It
different
does.
in another language.
It
So I got to defend him a little bit as well, to be fair.
with Spanish, there are words that we don't really use the way that they
Mm.
use them because I did learn a bit of Spanish myself when I went to Spain, and it's interesting and it reminds me very much of Greek because the way we say things as well, and so like I say, there's certain sayings and certain ways that
Mm.
things are said. So with Greek, we don't say put down the phone, we say close the phone instead
Mm.
of saying put down the phone. See what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So like
yeah, I do.
even that one word, you don't say what we would say in English.
Mm.
It's a different word. And you'd be like,
And
close the phone. If I said that to you, oh,
yeah,
close the phone, you'd be like, what? But I
well, yeah,
understand in
it's the
Greek.
same here in Ireland as well. I could say something to you that I would normally say over here, and you go, "What are you talking about?"
That's right.
It's like I've said grand, right? Grand means okay. Grand means fine. And
Yeah.
I've said grand into some messages, and one of them tech, what do you mean grand? What does that mean? It
I
means
see.
it's
I know
okay. It's
that
fine.
was pretty obvious. Yeah, I'm grand.
Yeah,
Maybe because I
grand.
watched a bit. Maybe because I loved a bit of Father Ted when I was younger. I
Oh,
always
don't
watched
get me
Father
started on
Ted.
Father Ted.
I
Can
love
you
Father
imagine?
Ted.
Can you Father Jack in the dressing room before the game?
Drink, drink.
Drink. Maybe Romero's a bit like Father Jack. I wonder.
Who's going to be the
Drink.
tea lady?
Um, I would say I would give that responsibility to sorry to say this, Palunia. I just feel there's a little bit there between Mrs.
That's
Doyle and Palunia. Maybe Jed Spence as well. Maybe we can give him that job.
that's funny. Yeah, yeah. I love Father Ted. Like I say, so
Yeah,
that kind of some of the Irish dialect, like those sort of words, I would
yeah.
know because I do. I have watched shows
And
and also and Derry Girls as well.
oh, I love
Like,
Derek Elves. Yeah, but
I d-
Father Ted's my favorite. For
oh yeah.
Dougal, I would have to give that to Porro. Porro's a bit of a Dougal, I think.
Oh, see, I don't. I actually think it's one of the youngsters, like maybe a bit of like an Archie Gray, bless
Yeah,
him.
maybe. Oh, I if he was still with us, I would have given it to Brennan Johnson. To be fair, I would have
Yes,
given.
I
Yeah,
agree with that. Yeah, no, I do see
he's
that.
not doing very well at Palace, is he?
I know.
I think we got the best deal out of that one, Mia.
Oh yeah, we did replace him, so that was a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, we're just chatting for chatting's sake now, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we are. This is what we're normally like when we do shows. We just go in a
I
whole
know.
different direction.
Just
Mia
go
sets
it.
out a plan. This is what we're talking about. Nearly an hour in, we're talking about Father Ted, and we're trying to find who players who would be in the fight. Yeah, it's just me and Mia who what we do normally.
I mean, yeah, why not? Why not? Eh?
Yeah,
Right. I'm sure everybody knows where to find you, but if not, please make sure you go and subscribe. I'll put the link in the description and I'll
mm.
at on the when I do the titles, you can click straight on it and go straight to them. So tell us about yourself, your show, what you've got going on.
Yeah, because you all know me from THFC Till We Die. Mia was on there, was a part of that a long while ago, and she still comes on now and again. Yeah, I look, we're on the march for 3K. We've had a really good end of the year and a good start to this year. We're really grown. So yeah, if you come over, hit the like and subscribe. I'd be really grateful. But please do it for Mia. I've known Mia a long time. She does a lot of good content, a lot of good shows as well. She's very respected within the fan base, within the community. So please, 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 I would urge anyone. Yeah, subscribe on mine. I'm really grateful. Thank you. But let's get Mia to 500. This lady deserves her channel to get up to 1,000. Really does. And if you do have a bit of spare love, we have started 2 new channels. We've started Ireland Till We Die, where we're doing all things Irish soccer. So we just started that channel, and also me and Philip Brady have a political channel, Dermot and Philip's Political Till We Die as well. So all under the same brand. But please, 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 I beg of you all, get Mia to 1,000 for the end of the season. Make this girl's dream a reality.
It's not going to
It is.
happen. It's
Mia,
all good.
Mia, to dare is to do. Remember that.
Or we'll keep trying to dare, but never actually do.
No, to dare. Look, if I can get to nearly 3K, you can definitely get to 1,000. Show this girl some love.
I just 100, like 200. I'm on 155, I think it is. So even just 200 this season would be amazing. So
I'm going to find all my dodgy accounts now and start subscribing. Get me up there.
No, it's fine. Anyways, take very, very good care of yourselves, everybody, and we'll speak again real soon.
Come on, you Spurs.